It is very slow today, so I figured I would answer some of the questions that I get frequently of, hey, you know, what's your setup? What's good to start? What's a good beginner setup? Something along those lines. I've been doing this about 2 years now, and when I first started, I had this thing even more decked out, and I've really streamlined it, and I'm trying to become a minimalist out here. You know, basically your necessities are going to be your PFD, radio, your EPIRB device. This is your beacon, your locator that you register with the Coast Guard. From a safety standpoint, I also have a tether. I tether this to myself so that if I capsize, which I have once, and it keeps me next to my kayak. And the other thing is, if it flips over, I can use this rope as leverage and just run it over the back and pull to flip the kayak back over. It is much easier that way. Fish finder, I just have a Garmin Striker 4, pretty much the cheapest one you can get, which is fine for me. From a reel standpoint and fishing rod standpoint, I generally carry 4. I have my bait rod, which is a Shimano Takata line counter, and I have this paired with the Shimano Trevalla jigging rod. I bring 3 trolling rods and reels. I switch from spinners to the conventional just because I like battling it better, more compact. I like having the eyes on the top so that if the rod does hit the kayak, I don't have to worry about the eyes being bent or popped off. I just find it easier to use than the spinners. I generally rig it where I have 2 that have fluorocarbon leaders set up, and then I have another one that I run steel on, or my dead bait rig. I want to avoid having to retie as much as possible, just because it's a pain in the butt, especially on the rougher days. From a trolling setup, I've got a Daiwa Sea Line. This is the X50, paired with, they're all the same rods. They're all the Penn Carnage jigging rods, or 6'2". This is Carnage 2 or Carnage 3. And then this is a Penn Squall. And this is, this rod here is my Speedmaster, Shimano Speedmaster. I have them all with 40-pound braid and top shot of 40-pound mono. Again, if I hook into something really big, I want to be able to have it break off rather than tow me around or potentially, you know, flip me over. My fish bag, you have your paddle and the Kagi. I made this Kagi. The first iteration that I did, I used a threaded rod that rusted too fast, so I switched that out to a stainless steel. It's a great little Kagi spear. The only issue I have is that this is super smooth, so that some fish that I Kagi, it just slips right out, as you see maybe in some of the videos that I have. And apart from that, that is pretty much it. I've got my bait tubes that I make. I always bring 2. I look for a coulee in the morning, goggle eye, and if I catch, I'll throw them in. And then if I catch a pelu, mackerel scad later, I'll throw them in the other one. However, today I caught a ton of just regular pelu, no coulee, so I loaded up 2 tubes worth. What else do I have? I have, you know, my pliers, and I bring a extendable gaff. I like this. This helps me bring in fish. It helps me brain the tunas. It's a nice little tool here. And then there's tons of storage. I keep my hooks, my rigs, and everything in this hatch here. And then behind me I have my little snack bag, and I keep my car keys and things like that in the waterproof bag. I also forgot to mention the most important piece, or at least one of them to me, is the bilge pump. This is a multi-purpose tool. 1, if your hole fills up with water, pump it out. 2, it's great to wash the blood and fish slime off your kayak after you land one. And 3, and I hate to say that I've had to use it, it's a portable bidet. So toilet paper wouldn't work so well out here. So this works pretty well. But that's pretty much it. And if you get out there, it's fun. It's incredibly fun hooking up into a big fish and battling that. It's very addictive. So, all right, let me know if you have any questions or links to any of this stuff. All right, shoots. Laters.